and welcome back. You're watching The Trend. Hashtag Hey Amina at The Trend Live on Twitter. So now, I didn't even notice this, but my next guest, Anto Neosoul, has just said that me and Theodora are wearing the same color. It's a uniform. So you see, we're going with the theme of the
You know,
whatever.
when you
even my pen.
Yeah.
See? Thank
when you stay together for a long time, you start looking alike. Mnaweza kufanya vitu the same. Theodora is now, he's letting his hair grow now. So he's trying to come, you know.
Is it the same color? It's the exact same color. Oh, wow.
Imagine you guys are wearing the same.
Just same family of blue.
Yo.
We should check with one another, eh?
Yeah.
Kabla nivae.
Mwambiane manze hisi ni NTV jioni.
Unasikia kile Theodora ameniuliza?
Hati mpaka ndani.
Ati amesema kuna red ndani.
So ulikuwa unauliza wewe za Khalwale.
Najua Anto uko na damu ndani, lakini ni nini ingine ya red uko nayo?
Nani amekwambia?
Wachana na sisi.
Hizi ni vitu gani tunajadiliana?
Nimebeba mawe huku Nation.
Kwani umebeba mawe Anto?
Wewe hata ukibeba ngapi huwezi kuwa stoner.
Kama Khalwale.
Oh yeah. But you're a different kind of stoner. Let's talk about marijuana. I'm kidding.
Amazing grace.
But so
tell me, Amina.
How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for
Anto.
Today I'm imagine.
Today you're a guest.
Yeah, but I can't wait to surprise you. You're
surprising me.
Hey,
I feel like
you wait and see.
Okay. I'm so sure it's not a surprise.
When you Africa manze utaki to surprise you, but you want to be surprised. Najua kwa roho yako uko like, damn it, yo keki come.
Manze si keki?
Si keki.
Si keki?
Wewe endelea tuna interview alafu ndakushow.
Keki. You know this is a Kenyan TV station.
Wheat cake.
You can't say that, Anto.
Oh, but yani imegrowiwa na ujona ngoma pia Octopizo.
Like reggae artist.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kerizo, that kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, no, your types. All right, you're very educated on this matter.
How have you been, Amina?
I've been great, Anto.
Amina,
you know, just
Ray.
listening to you on radio now, you've really evolved. You're doing a lot more now. You're very, very busy. I know you had a partnership for a very long time. I don't know if it still continues with Big Square as well. So let's just talk about it all. Let's start with radio.
So yeah, when I was asked to come back on radio on Nation FM, it was a thing of, do I really want to do this? Because I've already been pushing my music and doing my other stuff on social media and working with people like Big Square, and I have a restaurant named after me and stuff. But then I said...
You're just going to say that in passing?
Yeah. Nowadays, when I read traffic on Nation FM, I'm like, guys, if you're on Mombasa Road next to Anto Square...
Wow, if you're right next to my restaurant...
Yeah, traffic is slow but moving. Let me tell you guys. Manze, nakwambia ukijua claim to come in metoka. I think because of traveling also a lot, I've really come to learn that we must learn to really appreciate who we are. So the fact that someone would feel like we are bringing back Nation FM and we feel like you and Obinna would be a nice, you know, comeback. You know, a lot of us creatives have what we call imposter syndrome. So a lot of people think it's anxiety, but it's imposter syndrome, where you're like, should I really be having this thing? Unajua?
Do I really deserve it?
Exactly.
Am I really good at this thing?
Yeah. Or should I really go on an interview on The Trend because people would think like Anto works there, so he got it because he's there.
It's true.
You know, but then
that part is true.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But then the thing is that there's content. People will, you know, hear you and they're like, there's something you have to offer the world. So for me, I take all those things in stride. And also when I think about my background and where I came from, and today I had an interesting shoot with Emmanuel Jambo.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well.
And for those who don't know, Emmanuel Jambo is actually the president's photographer. So when someone like him sees me at a shoot and he's like, Anto, I need us to go back to the same location, and there's pictures of you that I need to take. And I've known him since I was doing Siri and Sugar, and he was the official photographer. So he's seen my journey and stuff, and for me, when it's so interesting, today I literally went on top of the house where I was born, and I was not fixing an aerial, because when I was a kid, unasoma kwa edge, then my brother is by the window, sitting room, hapo. Then when they turn to the other station on Mombasa Road, whoa, imeharibika. Sasa you have to try again, the one in Tao pia sasa imeharibika. So when you really think about the fact that I've come from that point, and the Mabati is where I was today, it just looked like a chocolate city. It's like, manze, you come from far, you have to constantly affirm yourself and believe in who you are, because you've got no one else but yourself to believe in. I'm not from, naambianga watu kizungu mingi ni kutafuta pesa. My mom is a teacher. She was very clear that I have to be eloquent in front of people, but I come from the slum, from Kawangware. In fact, where I come from, the name is so bad you can't mention it on TV.
Why?
It has a Kikuyu name which basically means, I think I can use this name. It means the booty that smells. That's literally the name in Kikuyu. Gatina Kanugaga.
Yeah?
Yeah, don't say
Gatina,
it. If you say it
Kanugaga.
now, it's worse.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so that's what it means. And I know the name came from
I think we
public-
should say it clearly for the viewers who didn't hear
Gatina
it. I'm
Kanugaga.
kidding. Our
That
biggest
is the real
viewership
name
comes
of
from
the place.
Central, by the way. I'm
Yeah.
so sure.
That is the
Bonjour.
name, the name of the real place. If you check on Google Maps, that's a place. And these things are very symbolic to me.
Oh my gosh, I can't
Yeah.
believe it. You know, and it's just, as you look back to all these stories, or rather all these things that you've had to sort of like go through to get to where you've gotten to, it's so unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I cannot believe that I'm that kid who, I come from a very dysfunctional extended family. So I can't believe that I'm that kid who had a grandmother who was like a multi-millionaire, but she would give me 20 bob to go with to school in high school. You know, a family where, you know, there are relatives of mine who we cannot see eye to eye. Some of them probably have got very great jobs in great places, but they would never open a door for me. That's the kind of place that I come from. And I own it, but also the responsibility and the honors is on me to constantly open doors for people. And that's why for me, I find that no matter what happens in my life, I have to be nice to people. Constantly, consistently have to be nice. Because everybody has got so much baggage that they're going through, that the least that I can be is literally lift off that baggage off of them and literally make them smile. That's the most I can do for people. I'm not a politician, I can't go giving people money, but at least I can be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually be nice. And you're really, really nice by the way, Anto. I try as much as you can to support everybody, you know, even though sometimes it's really, really, it's very difficult.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it working with Obinna? Because you see each other every day now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obinna is a real mumu. He uses that name a lot to mean basically someone, he has what he call mumu plenty. He's who have
we also say that on air? Gakini atina magugu na mamu. I don't know if we can
No,
say
mumu means silly. Like he's so
Oh,
full
mumu
of
means silly,
yeah.
okay.
But I think Obinna is one of the most amazing people to work with because even with his brand and even with you know the strides that he's made and the things he's been able to accomplish, he generally is a team player. Like we will plan, this is what we're talking about tomorrow. He won't wake up and change his mind. You know, if we're gonna call Babu Owino on air, he won't act like I don't wanna call him because he's my friend. He definitely is a team player. And I think the thing I love about working with him is that we have a goal. And the goal is we have to make our show the #1 drive show in Kenya, period.
Yeah.
And no matter, even when we don't wanna see eye to eye, we have to bring our egos down and make it happen. Yeah.
Manze, you know something else I need to talk to you about is relevance. Because you've actually been in the game for quite some time, but
Yeah.
you've managed to stay so new and so relevant at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
with every coming sort of like generation, you don't seem like you've done this long.
Yeah.
Una get, like,
Yeah.
una mixed tunawase
I think kuna reasons kadhaa. One, good genes. Sizeeki haraka.
hata leo ukuvaa good jeans, but it's fine. The
Hapo
irony.
umeniangusha, hujashikanisha.
Nimejishikanisha
Okay,
jeans zako.
najua.
Kwenda
Then
huko.
secondly,
Even
ni
though
ati
nakwambia
kutorefuka sana pia usaidia.
Enyewe kuzo unakaa tu mtoi
Tunaka
forever.
mtoi for long.
Alafu
Ukika
kuna
kama
utoto
kina
zote zina mix
Theodore,
poa. Yeah.
you know what that means. Inamaanisha within some few years, people are forcing you to retire and you're not even old. So anyway, so and also, manze, let me tell you, hii maisha ya kujaribu kwa trend si rahisi. Cheki leo imevaa tu life jacket. Ndio wase wa young manze waelewe umse haraka nikaa tunamuelewa.
Ona ile miwani umevaa.
Manze nimevaa miwani ya Kishabarangs
Hustle,
nikifunga inakuwa shades. Hii ni kazi huo presenter ni Bambi na sasa kumwangalia.
Wow.
Hii sasa ni kama ni interesting.
Wow.
So umina mashauri ni interesting.
Thank you so much for watching the show. It's been great. It's been a great show so far.
And that said though, now I have the surprise for you.
Do you want to take my pen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So bring this.
Okay.
So obviously the reason why I came to talk here today is because of
Tomorrow.
I have an amazing show tomorrow. Please come through to The Alchemist. It is from 6 p.m. till late, free. I'm gonna be performing more than 30 songs. It's also my birthday. So and I perform with my band, 9-piece band, for 2 hours onwards. live.
Can I correct you, Anto?
Yes.
It's your birthday today, actually.
For real?
It's 9 minutes past midnight. So happy birthday! All right, let's continue with
so yeah, so anyway,
programming.
that said though, people already know about the gig, wanajua, like we already know. Today, Amina,
yes,
it is all about you. Because the surprise is that the fans for the longest time have wanted to know who is Amina. And so today we're going to flip the script and we're going to find out Amina. People would like to know, where was Amina brought up?
What?
Yes. Where were you born and brought up?
What are you talking about?
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Check vile umejaa maji kwa tumbo.
I'm just like, manze, what do you mean ni
Najua ni
interview
maji. So Amina, mambo?
Poa sana Anto.
Amina.
Nilijua tu itakuwa shida. Nilisema maji tusifanye Anto interview. Now look, we don't know. What are we doing?
Amina anataka kujua na mafanzo wanataka kujua. Amina umezaliwa wapi? Uko na siblings wangapi? Like how's life going up for you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. This I I need a minute. I'm like, this was not what I was.
This how no
like,
cameraman is moving here. This was all planned.
I don't even. Are we doing this? I was born in Ongwaro. I told you this. You didn't believe me. I don't know how it is that I look. People think I'm a baby.
I think people don't believe you were born in Ongwaro.
They don't.
Ongwaro
They
wapi? Stage 2, 56.
So I don't remember now, of course, because and I tell my parents all the time, I'm like, please nirudisheni twende. My parents are like, no, we don't want to go back. But I'm always like, and then we lived in Isli for a long time. And then I grew up in Koma, a place called Koma. I really want to do an event in Koma Rock. I want to really support a lot of young people. There's too many young people who come up to me and tell me about how they are looking for work. They are trying to come up with something to like sustain their families and stuff. So.
How do you explain to your younger self coming from a slum and basically being the one who's hosting like the biggest show on primetime TV? How did that transition happen?
You know, it's so crazy. I think just being hungry. You know, being hungry for success, for financial independence. If you come from a background where, you know, everything is not sort of like promised and you know it's not there, you know, you always want to make sure that you never sort of like go back there. So you really push yourself and you really work hard and you really, really push yourself and you work hard. And, you know, I came to find out that when you're a woman, you have to work 10 times as hard because you don't get any credit, you know, so you know, you keep hearing that you must be getting all these gigs because of your husband. And I'm like, that is true because he's the one who's hosting my show every single morning and every single evening and he's the one who hosts events and it's really harder for women. So you have to really do it even thrice as hard. But I think just staying hungry and being focused on your goal really helps you. So yes.
Are there times when you know you sort of been told no? And
what are you talking about? I'm told no every time.
But in this industry, like we get no so many times. But at there times you've been told no, and you know it feels like it's vendetta-ish. It's
so many.
It's like this no wasn't because I'm not good, but someone was trying to prove a point.
So many. Oh my days, so many. Sometimes you get the no just because someone's like, oh, but you've been getting so many gigs, you don't need another gig. You don't deserve another gig. You know, or it's just hapana mimi kuna kitu tu simpendangi tu kuna kitu tu sio ni macho yake sio ni meno zake ni kubwa. What can I?
And it's interesting. I always tell that our industry is one of the most difficult.
Yeah,
because
politics,
people give you work even based on just judging you. Like we allow people to judge us.
Yes, that's true.
How are you able to balance, you know, taking care of your family? I know you take a lot of your extended family, taking care of your own home, doing radio, doing TV, and still being able to be Amina without having to. You can't look bad in the streets. You can't look off. You can't be mad in the streets.
I don't care about those things.
Like,
oh my God, if you've seen me in the streets, then you did not. You were like, kuda mana kaka Amina. Ni kwa sababu ilikuwa ni mimi, even you two without the things that turn me into a female. You cannot tell. Nakuanga nakatuka Anto, baby.
Seriously. Ama watu wana confuse na sister yako. Ndio unafanana na sister yako sana.
That's true, nafanana na sister yangu sana.
Yeah.
My younger sister Shukri. But what was the specific question?
Like
how do I?
Yeah, like how do you juggle all those things?
How do I juggle all those things? I think, you know, for one is you just need to stay true to yourself. You know, just like don't forget who you are and where you came from and stuff like that. People are always going to misunderstand or there's always going to be misconceptions about you. There's nothing you can do about that. Whether you are
Snob.
priest,
Yeah.
whoever you are,
Yeah.
people will always be like, oh, de mana kwanga hivi na hivi, ama uchele na kwanga hivi na hivi. No matter who you are, you could be like a saint, and people, there are people who still feel like maybe you're not,
Yeah.
you know, straight up, you're
Yeah.
not like nice,
Yeah.
or I don't know, or whoever it is that you portray yourself to be. So I think number one, just stay true to yourself, and then, you know, just don't listen to all of these opinions. You know, I think that's what really surprises me about people. All these thousands of messages, like there are millions of hate comments that are going to be right under this video.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah.
Some about my hair, some about my dress, some about
Yeah.
my skin tone,
Yeah.
some about how dumb I am, some about how stupid or how this and how that. And you can't take everyone's opinion. I think just do your best and do your thing and just, you know, sort of like trudge on.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my family, I think they take priority. They're number one. So it's not even how I juggle. It's just always like my family comes 1st and then everything else. So
Then
it's,
everything
it's very
else.
easy when you know, when you
Yeah.
set your priorities in place.
What keeps you going? Like you've
Hey, this is
obviously-
so awkward. I can't believe I'm
You
doing
can't believe
an
it's
interview.
happening.
What is this?
Imagine.
Hadi nilikuwa nafikira tuna act.
Umewezwa.
I can't.
Leo ni ile siku yenye tunataka kujua who this
Hey.
the trend with Amina Abdirabah. The thing is Amina
Anto,
Abdirabah.
hujawahi kukujaisha tena, ngoja tu.
Anaulizana kila mtu swali. Lakini hajaijua huyu Amina Abdirabah ni nani? What keeps you what makes you wake up in the morning and say, you know what?
Money. What?
Wait. I've seen the real nini in you. It's like, yeah,
Bro.
tunasumbuana nini hapa?
Unafikiria mimi naweza amka saa 10 asubuhi kwa sababu napenda Farida ama? Like unafikiria napenda? Like weather. Sasa hiyo. Napenda baridi.
Ati traffic.
Unapenda? Hey.
Yeah.
No, but for real though, I work for such incredible people. You know, I've been very fortunate to be one of the few people who have managed to work in different sort of like media houses, and it's always been, it's really irked people.
Yeah.
And there are some who've been very adamant about, you know, you need to let her go. Why is she doing all these jobs? Let me tell you, no one ever wants to over hustle. You know what I mean? You want to just be able to do like one job, still have like a life. And the reason why I over hustle, Anto, is because of what I told you, man. I just have to take care of a lot of people. You know, so my dad has been in and out of hospital this entire year. You haven't seen me asking for, you know, a pay bill to do this and to do that. That's because I work very, 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 very hard. So it's so unfortunate that, you know, for women, if you work very, very hard, there's something wrong. You know, you don't get the credit. You're working so hard. Are you ever with your family? Are you ever with your children? Are you ever with your husband? Oh my God, oh my God. You become a socialite. Oh, look at her. She's now doing this. She's now doing that. You get like a rich boyfriend. Oh, wow, look at her. Now she's going to get a man. Oh, now she will not. No, but you said you want somebody to stay at home with the kids. So she's staying at home with the kids.
Exactly.
So why is it that you can never
she's
really
lazy.
win?
Now she's at home. She's
now
lazy.
yeah, you're home, you're lazy. Or you
Yeah.
didn't go back to work after giving birth. Oh, look at you, you have no ambition. Or you did it, like there's always something, you know. So it's tough, but you've got to do it. So I really just grind.
What is your biggest, you know, lesson? You know, if you remember, what would you tell your probably your 17-year-old self?
That life is unpredictable. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to do international relations. So in my mind, I was supposed to be the other Amina this year, and then I became this one, which is sad, but it's okay. It's life.
We are here.
So,
what do we do?
This isn't what I wanted to do. This was not what I intended to do. And even when I started out in the industry, look at how my dress is. I'm so confused. But when I started out in the industry, I wanted to do music, and I think this is where a lot of people sort of don't understand that if you, because you want to do this music thing, let's say for example, and you try to do it and you're trying to do it and it's just not working. So for me, when I started out, I was like, so to make dough, so lazima ni bribe mse, na ni bribe mse, wa ngoja, na sina dough, you know, so it's a lot. And so right at the beginning, I was like, I don't think music is going to work. So I decided, let me jump on radio and let me jump on TV. And very few people, I think, make that decision because it's very difficult. You know, this is something you're passionate about. This is something that you really love. This is something you thought you were going to do for the rest of your life. And then no, it's not. So it's something that you have to sort of change and shift. And it might come back to you later. But you have to be patient enough to understand things don't always go your way. Do you know what I mean? So when I heard about all those bribes that people were asking me, and I'm just starting out, I'm a nobody. I'm like, are you kidding? What is all this? Are you joking? And it was like a lot of money, like 21K. First of all, what? That's so much money.
Exactly,
you know, and my salary at the time I think was like 10K. So that was unfortunate. So I said I will do TV and I'll do radio, and no one will ever have to bribe their way to TV or radio if it's on my show.
And do you feel that you probably will end up doing another music, probably a music album or a personal project that you know? Because I mean, you have a great voice, which by the way, today you're gonna sing for us. So like how?
How
do you how do you not go and do a music album?
How would I? How?
You have to do a music album.
How, me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would, but I think that I am in a position now to support someone else to do an album. I think that to whom much is given, much is expected. And until that hashtag Play Kenyan Music KE really sort of like went on and on and on, it's almost like it didn't hit me directly that they're specifically talking to you as you know what I mean? Because I'm like, if I have 3 TV shows. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And a radio show that can speak to millions, if not thousands of people. What am I doing with it? Do you know what I mean? This is, Larry did this for a few years, left. I'm going to do it for a few years, and I'm going to leave it for you who's watching right now. So then in those few years that I have been on this show, I'm hoping that I will have inspired. I'm hoping that I will have, you know, made someone believe in themselves, allowed them to see in themselves something I never saw in myself when I was 17. No one ever told me I could do it. No one ever believed in me. No one ever, you know, made me feel like I could achieve something so great and so big. So I never had a plan or a strategy, and I think people think I have one. I don't. I really don't. It's just working hard and pushing yourself and just really believing in yourself. So believe in yourself.
And speaking of inspiration, I know you do a lot of interesting charitable projects, including stuff like UNHCR. What are some of the projects that you're very passionate about, where you feel like you give your other 300% just so you can help especially the less fortunate?
So there are a number. I work with UNHCR, you're right. There's a school book fund appeal, in fact, that we just launched, and it's all to try and educate as many refugee children as we possibly can. And remember this, I know people are always like, I know, but you see what happens is when you are a refugee child, when you're coming into the country, the things that you have been through, the things that you have seen, you have people who are talking about their siblings being cooked, you know, their sisters being raped, their relatives being eaten. It's like really gory stuff, you know. So by the time they're getting to school, they require a lot more than just basic education. They need you to talk to them. They need you to guide them. There's a bit of counseling. There's a lot more than just you teaching them 1 + 1 = 2. And as we are all aware, education is important to the success of our children. And for a refugee child or refugee family, education for their children is a lifeline for them. So you could, you know, go ahead and check that out. And then there's Better for Kenya with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So there's quite a number, and I talk about them a lot on my social media. I feel really weird talking about myself on the show. Can we just end the show?
We're about to end the show, and I'm about to perform. But before I perform, by the way, thank you for allowing me to just put you on the spot, because
I didn't even allow you.
You are dressed, Me, I don't ask for permission. I own this building. You know what I do every show. I do Living with S. I do The Trend. I do Nation FM. I do G3.
You do? Well, the G3
I read story. Uncle Anto. So
Nani wewe na wewe mbele ni the same height.
Tuaje mimi kwa hiyo board ya director. Anko yangu, guka yangu, nani wote.
I can't believe this happened. But anyway,
that me, I apologize. It was a joke.
I should apologize to our viewers.
So anyway, before we perform, I'd like you to sing a hook of one of the songs that people might have heard. They think it's you, but they're like, is it her? Is it? Yeah, just one.
I don't know if I know the words.
Kuna moja ulimba na nilimba naye pia, ule mfupi anaitwa nani?
Mfupi?
Ule mfupi mweusi, brother yake ni DJ.
Moji Short Baba? Mfupi?
If loving you is wrong.
J.A.
Yeah, J.A.
Si mfupi.
Okay. Ukisema mtu mfupi anasema mtu ni mfupi. Ni mfupi, my friend.
I don't know if I know the words.
Please try, remember.
I can't. I want to cry. Oh my God. General Theodore is on the other side, no?
He's been fired. Don't talk if this girl has not sung here.
Here.
Anyway, give your...
I don't even know the words. Can General Theodore close the show as I remember the words?
Sawa. He said only beautiful people call him Theo. So do you want to call him Theodore, really?
Amina,
I'm just trying to end the show. At this point, I'm just like...
Theo.
Fanya
ulilipwa kufanya hapa.
Aya, very good, Anto. Happy birthday to you, Anto Neosoul. Wewe, kijana wa nywele na anatuvadhia wa Keridho. Wa Keridho atatuambia ni nini hiyo baadaye. And yes, it was a dope show kwa sababu Sheila Kimani is saying, wow, this is such a dope conversation, 100%. Happy birthday to Anto Neosoul, and thanks for asking Amina to share her story. Everyone needs to hear this story. Oh yes, nakwambia Nkuruma ako hapa anasema, hi, great conversation around. Na takwambia si hapo tu peke yake. Hey, Nick anasema, when the interviewer becomes the interviewee, Nice play at Anto Neosoul, and now we know about hey Amina, tunakujua kidogo. Tribe Kenya of Wakanda anasema Anto Neosoul came to be interviewed and took over the show. Ni nini baya? Wakeridho, na unajua ukijana na amesema ni wana huko pahali pabaya. Wana hapo Gatina Kanugaga. Ni hapo tu. Kwetu ni ile side juu, ile ingine ya Wanye, ile side ingine na huko. Nimetoka na huko. Anyway, Anto Neosoul, you can't believe this. I have wanted to do what you have just done. I have never seen Amina being interviewed. Thank you for doing this. People are happy. And because it's Anto's birthday, mimi ni nani? Wacha nikuwe ready ni dance wa Kiridho hapa. Blessing anataka kuchukuchuku. Alafu, nigi hapo Amina na blue yako. That was good. Sijawahi ona ukiinterviewwa. Hey, nimeshtuka sana leo. That was good. That was lovely. Hey, Blessing. Unaonaje utaniokoa na wimbo?
Oh my God, I can't believe it. You know, it's so funny how he sounds like everyone's like grandfather. You know?
You know, it's interesting. Like how I came to know about Theodore was my relative from the diaspora told me, Manzi, there's another Kikuyu old guy
on the trend.
Yeah. I'm like, this dude, I'm like, know. So when I asked him the first time I met him, he was like, oh my God, I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
Then I realized this dude is like every one of my uncles. Like, I don't even think he asks. People should know this is exactly
it's real. It's him.
Anakuanga tu hivyo.
Yeah, that's true.
Ukikuyu mingi, atoangi do. Mkienda hapa Lusra, hawezi nunua anything. Manzi atoangi do.
Hawezi toa. Hey, Shedo, unajua juzi tumeenda hapa, imagine tumekunywa chai alikuwa na bageni.
Hawezi nunua.
Ati 30 bob baji. I'm like Theodore. Oh, sorry. Wow. Sorry. Haikuwa hata
Baba Kingston.
Boss, haikuwa hata. Sikuwa najua unaweza kukaa.
Sababu na uko na ukijana nafikiri mimi ndio na ukijana.
You know now when you stand next to me now we really look like we're wearing a uniform.
You know, actually
it's like bridesmaids.
By the way, just so you guys know, I feel like nimeenda visiting day. Check in there. Mom na dad.
Thank you. You know what? Me hata sijui kwa. This is my show.
Enjoy hivi. Mimi wacha nikwambie, hizo zote nimefanyia show hapa. Nilijiambia utalipa na kutuambia wewe ni nani. Na leo umelipa. So my birthday present from you was to the fans. You tell us who you are.
Okay.
And to be honest,
yeah.
I thought about it and I realized when I check online, there is no interview by Amina.
I'm trying now to do them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching the show. And to come in the show. Imagine.
Yeah.
Why is everyone just walking in front of the camera? This is how you know that we are a very serious show and we take our work very seriously. Okay. General Theodore, tell us about you. I'm kidding. Mike is gonna lose his mind.
Tukianza show ingine hapa 2 hours. Sai.
No. You know, I actually believe you. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching the show. Blizzo, do you have anything to add? Blizzo, ambia wase wagwan wala pola. Whoa. Wambia wow. Anyway, we hope to end the show. DJ Blessing at the back. Anto's about to perform. Please make sure that you come and you watch him tomorrow at The Alchemist. He's going to be performing 30 songs live as he turns 82 years old. Please come through and watch Anto. My name is Amina Abdulba. I am done. I am done. The plan after this, what's the plan after this?
The plan is
to watch you, right?
Team Duvet.
Like I said, 82 years old. But for those of us 21, tukutane, pale, mahali Westlands.
Na Theodore akakunywe dawa za arthritis.
Theodore, you can't keep walking in front of the camera. This is
just, you know what?
So, there it is. The show's done. The show's done. Look, shouldn't you remove the... Are you... Anto,
tumeshatoa.
You can't do this live on air. Like...
You know, guys, we are like MTV Awards. We too movie, watu pia watu wakiwa nini.
Thank you for watching the show. My name is Amina Abdurrahman.
Hi, this song is called Master Blaster before DJ Blessing does his thing. Master Blaster is by Stevie Wonder and Anto Neosoul.